Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. Welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla on the 5th choice server. Core was here. Thank you for leaving that sign, Core, that was fun. I'm not sure quite when he visited, but he must have been around at some point, and it's fun that people come and check out the base every now and again. I have finished, more or less, for a given value of finished, obviously, because this place is meant to be a little bit messy looking, but this is the arcade. We have a few different machines here. I put fence gates on the front of this one, because I'm pretty sure I did that in my original two-player design. I forgot to do it last time around, so that was kind of cool, and that's kind of like, yeah, for the two-player placements. You know, occasionally in those games, I don't know if Borderlands does this, but Borderlands was the example somebody gave when they were like, can you make a two-player looking game? I don't know if they have this, but some games, when they're two-player, especially if they're FPS games, like gun-based kind of things like Time Crisis or whatever, will have these gun rest kind of sections like hanging out the side where they kind of, you put the guns when they're not in use. So that's kind of cool. I thought that was a cool idea. Anyway, these two aren't necessarily connected, but they are kind of back-to-back games. I don't know what either of them are. I didn't really have an idea for them yet. I was really annoyed that you couldn't fit a trapdoor on that with an item frame in the thing next to it. It wouldn't do it that way. So I couldn't put anything on the front of this. But then I had the bright idea to put vines on the side of this, make it look like it's a little bit more overgrown, and then the vines would just kind of sneakily move across. And so the front of that machine isn't completely boring. It does have some stuff going on. This one is out of service, and it's been out of service for so long that the letters have worn off the sign. I thought that was kind of a cool idea, and I wanted to use a piston and like oak wood for the base of that. So I think that kind of looks, it's a little bit different because the texture of the top of a piston isn't quite the same as oak wood texture. I found that out recently and it kind of goes together. It's more or less the same colour, but it's kind of like the back of paintings where there isn't really a wood colour that's exactly like that in the game. And then this one I thought was kind of cool. This one's like a gold mining game, and I've never actually made gold tools, like willingly, because why would you? There's no reason to. They're terrible. So I kind of thought, yeah, let's put the gold helmet in there like I kind of used over here. I've got one with a skeleton skull, but I wasn't going to use it for an arcade machine because I went and farmed withers for a little bit and then I died, and then when I came back I only got the one skull, and I do want to get a beacon for this area, so I haven't got any wither skulls to kind of do blank screens for any of these, but in time I might replace some of these with blank screens just so it looks like they're a little bit less active, which is kind of the vibe now. The main thing I haven't done is cleared up this chest, which I'll probably do at some point. But yeah, I managed to get a trapdoor on this one just by pushing it over from an adjacent block, which, if it's on an adjacent block, you can do in 1.8. Trapdoors aren't completely pushable like they are going to be in 1.9 yet, but I thought at least there's a way of doing it. Somebody on the Reddit told me that, and I was very happy. I kind of did this with the ceiling, and it's got these trapdoors here, and that one is kind of hanging down like it's, you know, falling off its hinges kind of thing. I thought that was alright. And then, yeah, the sandstone, the prismarine, that's the motif we have for the rest of this place, but it's a little bit more kind of, it's more of an accent thing in the ceiling. It's a little bit more kind of constrained up there, which is cool. And then, yeah, a bit of stone, that kind of thing. Still got the rails out in front, and a few people suggested alternatives to this, but I am sticking with the rails personally. I don't know. I think it's just a neat way of making. There's a threshold here. I might replace whatever material is underneath there, just to give it more of a, this is connected to the rest of the build look. Like I could replace that with sandstone. Do I have any lying around? I don't have any right now, so I'll go and get some sandstone and I'll do that some other time. But that's not today's priority. Just kind of thought that was something cool to point out. So today, I'm going to be working on a couple of things, and the first thing I want to do is take a look at the island over here, because there's... Wait, did I already do this? Did I already make an episode about this? Oh no, that's right, no, we did a live stream, that was it, we did a live stream. How have I forgotten that? That was not too long ago. Okay, so yeah, I've cleared off this island, and I have a lot of big plans for this place. I kind of, let me pillar up using some dirt and I will show you. In fact, I could even get on top of these acacia trees that I've been farming, because I've kind of plotted out this area. Oh, apparently I can't get on top of these acacia trees I've been farming. They've been growing over the top of each other. There we go. So I've been plotting this out like it's an actual town before building any of the structures in it, and that is something that I haven't really done before. Most of the time when I come in and build something that turns out to be a town later, I kind of build the individual things just one at a time. As I have an idea for a structure, I will build it, because I've mentioned this in a couple of my single player videos before, and probably even on Decidedly Vanilla as well. I prefer structures to have a functional purpose as well as just being there to look pretty. But this whole region is kind of an aesthetic thing. Like, none of the stuff around here really has function. I just spent a little while making an arcade that doesn't have any function at all right now, at least. So I figured, yeah, let's plot out the area, let's make some interestingly shaped houses. None of the houses around here are going to be your typical Minecraft square box, and I'm going to hate myself for that later when I do the roofs, but for now I think it looks kind of cool. And I've got these pathways around the place that I'm just kind of plotting out where to go. That down there is going to be a town square. I think that's what's going to happen. And then there's a few really unique locations on here. There's this place which has the pond over there. That's kind of cool. There's that house on the end, I think, is probably going to be some kind of more like a mansion sort of thing, because it's up a little bit higher. That's going to be where like the governor of this area would live or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really figured out what the storyline is for this area yet, but there will probably be one at some point. But anyway, the people on the live stream kind of helped me out with a couple of the details. I was working on something that basically I just wanted to move away from working stuff entirely in stone, which is what the rest of the stuff over there in the ruin is. And I started off going with sandstone because we had the sandstone bridge over here, but using sandstone as like a full block, everything got a little bit pale, and I didn't want to do that necessarily. So I decided a wood type would probably be best, and I've gone with acacia. And I really, really like that. It's quite a bright wood, which is not necessarily something you would expect from a community that's been here for a while. But acacia wood, I think, in real life is actually pretty tough. So it's kind of a decent material to have stuck around for a little while. Looks great when you can turn it into stairs and slabs and mix it with the grey. Obviously, like, a lot of stuff goes pretty well with grey, so that makes a lot of sense. Though I think it's going to be really good using this in the builds, and I can always mix in the tree trunks with it as well because they've got that grey texture. I've just been farming it over here, just bone mealing a bunch of saplings, and I have a bunch of it in my inventory now. So there are going to be paths around here. There are a couple of... I'm going to make like a beach kind of thing here, I think. Just a small one, but like a kind of a leisure beach for the residents of this place to kind of come and sit when it's been a long day and the sun is setting and that kind of thing. And down here, this is kind of cool actually. I found a bit down here where the sand had kind of caved in, and there's this really obvious kind of cave there. So I dug down to it, and there were a bunch of mobs in it at the time. There were like skeletons and zombies and whatnot. And I came down here, and there's just this natural little cave, kind of like what we have over on the mainland section of the ruin. It doesn't lead down particularly far. I think this one stops about there. There's a few resources around, but this is not going to be like a mining kind of section or anything. I figured what this could be is, like, we've already got the water running down here. I thought it would be a great idea to install like a sewer system for the town, something like that, because we could work on like a really kind of creepy and dank sewer setup, and dank like the memes. And yeah, this whole thing could be turned into like a water channel, and water could be flowing down here, and there could be all kinds of creepy stuff. You could imagine like rats and stuff down here. I feel like that'd be fun. I think that'd be kind of an interesting way of doing things. And obviously the sewer could be all overgrown and stuff as well, like the rest of the stuff around here is. But I wanted to make it look like this place has more infrastructure, I guess. So a little bit more kind of organised living than most of the stuff I build, where it isn't super thought out. It's just like, what function does this have? This is a house. This will shelter me. This will provide a brewing setup, that kind of thing. So I want to work a lot with smooth stone as well as the more textured stuff that I usually do, because smooth stone is actually pretty good for pillaring and looking kind of inoffensive in builds. Not that it's offending anybody really, but it's just kind of, it's a subtle thing, you know? Like, I'm going around slowly replacing some of the pillars in this place that I've marked out in cobblestone with smooth stone and acacia, not acacia, what's the andesite, that's it. Already got the acacia over here, but andesite I think goes pretty well with acacia. I'm a little bit wary about having too much texture in things now that I'm using wood instead of stone, because if you're just using all grey, then texture is what you want, because otherwise it's just going to look like flat grey walls everywhere. But if you're working with multiple materials, if you've got some acacia wood in here as well, there's already a bit of texture in that block, so you don't want to go absolutely overboard with things, like I have done in some of my other builds. I know, you look at Pixel Manor and you just think, wow, that's a lot of texture in one place, and I have been accused of... lightly accused, not like seriously accused, it's a crime, of over-designing my builds a little bit. So I feel like we can do something a little bit more simplistic here, or maybe something that looked a little bit more simplistic, but the fact that it's all eroded away and stuff will lend itself nicely to the kind of detail I like to put in builds. Like here, for example, this is another fun example of ways I like to make things functional as well as aesthetically interesting. Here is the corner of a building where the window has been smashed and some of the wood has decayed away. So it kind of provides this neat gap here that you can kind of, you think, oh, okay, that's an area where part of the structure has crumbled. And I might even put like an acacia slab down here, or maybe a bit of glass to look like it's broken, something like that. I don't know, maybe that's like the window has fallen out. But then because there's a half slab there and a half slab there in a 3-block space, I can walk in through this. So I could completely block up all the entrances. I could have half of the house having collapsed in front of the door, but the actual entrance is over here. So it's kind of interesting adding aesthetic touches like that that are actually a bit more functional. So over here, I think I'll probably work on a house over here today. I've already started that one, but I want to do a little bit more off-camera design with that. But then these smaller ones, like this one, I figure I can probably just freestyle a little bit on camera. And I've left all of these tree stumps around just because I wanted to mark out where the trees were in case I wanted to rebuild any of them at any point. But I think we can take those out now. I don't feel like we need to keep those in for any real reason. So this one's going to have stone pillars on either side like this. And like I said, I'm trying to get away from... Oh, Jeff's off. Cool, okay. Later, Jeff. Bye, Jeff. I did not mean to have that in caps. I had caps look on my computer for no reason. Yeah, I'm trying to get away from using cobble all the time and kind of having too much texture in builds. So this will be kind of interesting to see how this turns out. I want these all to have a fairly similar style as well, and I'm kind of stealing the style of build that I make in my single player series a little bit, but I'm building it out using acacia instead of spruce wood, which I have in Ramsfell. And yeah, just having these stone pillars and then using the stone as an accent block kind of in here like that, just so it kind of peeks out of there, and then you can put a bit of texture in there and it's more subtle than it usually would be, for me at least. So let's move this around here. And yeah, this is also a kind of similar building design to what I used at Pixel Manor in Freehaven on this server. So it's not too dissimilar from stuff I've built before. It's in my style at least for now, and then we can work on it as we go. So this is going to be, I think this is 2 separate houses, but maybe they can be bordering. Oh wait, maybe this is access to the beach. I forget. I kind of forgot what I needed to do with this area here. But I think maybe if this is 2 houses, that would be kind of cool, and we can have like access to the beachfront through little alleyways and stuff. I'm probably going to terraform a little bit this area anyway. Hello, you. Sometimes the zombies just get close enough to be headshot with a bow, which works pretty well for me, I think. So yeah, this can like lead down to the beach. Maybe the beach can be more private. I don't know. The whole beach idea is something I'm clinging to at this point, apparently. Or maybe we can have like a nice little corner house over here. Something like that. That would work. We can take this away, and then this house can go like along here, like this. Let's block that out in cobblestone. This house can go along there, and it's got a couple of trees growing in it right now, but then, yeah, it can be like a smaller kind of corner house that's on the back of this house but is separate. And then we still have a path down to the beach over here. All right, yeah. Gonna make excuses for the fact that I just put a ton of acacia there and didn't necessarily mean to. So this is gonna have pillars on the side here like that. Might change those out for something other than cracked stone later, but I just have that handy. And then, yeah, we can work on putting layers in this. I do want there to be multiple floors here and there. I want a couple of them to have like higher stories, and maybe this is a really weird idea, but maybe the people who have this house can also own the roof of this triangle house here. So this is their balcony, and then the people who live in this house downstairs constantly have people tramping around on their roof. That seems like a kind of fun idea. I don't know. Let's work with that, shall we? Yeah, I kind of want to mix in a couple of things that are like acacia slabs and stuff to make it look like it's a little bit more broken down. Where'd I put the crafting table? I don't know why I've put it in the middle of this house. That seems like a very illogical place to put the crafting table. Let's move that now, shall we? Seeing as we're working on a build over here, we can carry it around with us. Thank you. Come out of here. I think I'm most excited to work on the sewer for some reason. I think that's just the way it is right now. So let's work on, yeah, having a couple of bits of acacia wood that have sort of fallen down, and then that can, I just swap them out occasionally for slabs, and that just gives it something like a slightly different texture. Yeah, okay, cool. We'll work with this. This seems like a cool idea. And then you can't quite jump through that. Mobs won't be able to get through it. We'll have a couple of windows here, and you know, this is a cool idea actually. If you have stuff like this, where obviously the glass comes up to about half a block if it's like a pane without anything to connect to, and to make this pillar a little bit more accessible, I'm looking around for the crafting table like I didn't bring it with me. To make this pillar like not connected, we can put in a stair like that. That works. That works pretty well. I might turn it like that way, maybe? Because then at least it looks like a solid pillar from the back, but then you go around the front, it's crumbling a little bit, and the glass doesn't connect to it, which is the important thing. That's the feeling I want, so that works. That works. Interesting. We'll kind of have it coming out to there again. So it's extending out a little bit, but the window's obviously a little bit broken. Yeah, we'll go with that. So I'll take that one out. I'm not that worried about breaking the glass panes right now. I know it's kind of wasteful, but one of those things where I can't be bothered to go and get my Silk Touch tools. Because I'm a lazy guy, apparently, right now. Let's throw in a stair here. Can we maybe make this into... Because I want the entrance to at least be kind of structured, like it's got a kind of stone frame around the entrance, right? And I'm not sure what I want to do for doors. Acacia doors just seem too opulent for this place. Maybe I'll just leave doors out entirely. Maybe the doors have just all fallen off their hinges or something. I was doing that over there. I'm not sure if we're close enough to the temple for it to affect the villagers. I want to say we're not, but I'm just a little bit wary of that. We'll see. Interesting. It could be an interesting experiment at least. So we will put a little bit of acacia wood sort of around just to say, yeah, this is all broken up and cruddy at this point. It's all kind of fallen through. But then we can design the interiors of these houses kind of interesting at least. We can have some stuff that's abandoned and has been there for a while. Maybe they've got an arcade machine or two, I don't know. I'll come up with something else. I want the floor to be all broken up, and I might do something a bit different with the floor in terms of not having just stone everywhere, not just having cobblestone all over the place, because I want to do something different with the ceiling as well. Cobblestone walls would be a good idea for around here, actually. Right now, after I've converted all my cobblestone into smooth stone in the furnaces. Any more in here? No. Oh, stained clay would be a good idea for the floor. Let's try some of that out. I brought some of that with me initially, thinking, yeah, that would work really well for the pillars and stuff around here, but it just looked too it looked too nice, I guess. It looked kind of plain. Yeah, it's kind of grey. I want to move away slightly from using grey. So maybe some hardened clay would go in there. Maybe that would go well with the acacia. Just some regular unstained hardened clay. Can work on that. I think that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, won't worry about that now. But like a terracotta kind of thing. Maybe this is kind of a clay-rich society. Maybe they've got like flower pots and stuff around. That kind of thing. Obviously before it all went into decay and ruin and that kind of thing. Let's make some cobblestone walls and have these propping up some stuff. Because I've got a couple of those here just on the corners of the houses here and there. And I think that's kind of a cool idea to have them up there. Like that. And then we'll have this weird kind of archway thing going over here, and it's all... I'm making an excuse for this being messy by saying it's all kind of run down, but that's kind of the vibe I'm going for, is it looks sort of messy, and it's messy with purpose. I think that's the important thing. So we can still get under here. There can be a rudimentary kind of doorway. Let's bring out the stone pillar here as well, and then not give this cobblestone wall anything to connect to. So let's maybe put some cobblestone stairs in there, make it look like the doorway's fallen in a little bit, and then cobblestone. Maybe, yeah, once we work out what colour the rest of this floor is going to be, we can work with some stairs that make it look a little bit more like the rest of the floor. Or maybe there can be a half section of the floor where it's stone. I don't know. Still working on a couple of ideas for this place, but I think this is a strong start. I like that, and I kind of like the idea of using acacia pillars for further up. Almost like, you know the way some houses are built, like especially in places like California or even in Japan, where they have wooden pillars supporting the upper floors, if not the lower floors, because they're the ones that are most likely to be susceptible to stuff like earthquake damage. And you never know, this could be an earthquake kind of area. This could be a fault line. It might even be possible that this island has separated from the mainland because of some sort of earthquake in the past. And that's why they built this bridge, and that's why the bridge is kind of cracked open. That's interesting. I like that as a storyline. Earthquake Town. Interesting. Okay, and maybe that's why some of the stone is a little bit cracked up and things as well. Earthquake is a good one. Right. Okay, so we'll start the pillar kind of here then? How about that? Because then it will kind of peek through and it seems like less of an abrupt transition. Maybe we can go with that? I don't know, maybe not. I think maybe that does need to be smooth stone there. And the transition past the acacia wood stuff actually helps it. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Let's run with that, and I don't want that to be there. I want it to kind of come up that way. So it'd be interesting to see what other features we can throw in to make this look like it's been affected by an earthquake. I wonder if we can draw some sort of jagged lines up the landscape and that kind of thing. Just a couple of cracks here and there. Just to make it look a little bit less like natural terrain generation and a little bit more like chaos. Maybe something like that. We'll see. We'll see. I will tinker with that off camera. That sounds kind of cool. Anyway, whilst I was doing all of this, I wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff, and obviously I have just rambled on about my plans for this area, and I've been doing a bit of on-camera building experimentation, which is cool. I like doing this stuff a lot. That's pretty much what I do. But I wanted to tell you guys about my new Patreon page, and if you've watched my tutorial from yesterday, you've probably already seen this, so if I'm repeating myself at all, bear with me, right? I've started up a Patreon page because for a while I was not convinced by the idea that me setting up like a fan funding page would be worthwhile, because I'm a pretty small-time content creator still, and back when this was an idea floating around in my head, I really didn't have as many subscribers as I do, so I kind of went, well, it's not really worth me doing right now. It's not worth my time. Nobody's really going to want to donate to me yet. And now I have a larger community, I felt like that was probably a good thing to start, because there are a lot of people who make more money on Patreon than they do from having YouTube videos with ads and stuff on. And when I enabled the ads on my account, I was kind of like, I don't really want to do this, but if it's possible for me to make money out of the YouTube thing once I get a few more views, then that kind of works. But Patreon is a way for you guys to fund me, and not fully fund me, obviously. I'm not going to be able to quit my job or anything, but you guys can donate to me to help keep my channel running, to help me improve my equipment and the quality of my videos and stuff. And I can give a little bit back. There are donator rewards on there right now, which are some pretty cool ideas, I think. They're not things that I've seen around that many places. So I would really love it if you guys check that out. And obviously, the main thing I want to say about this is that I'm not going to stop making content for free. That is the important thing. Like, my channel will always be free and open for anybody to come here. It's not going to turn into some kind of subscription-based service or anything. I have made one of the early donator rewards. Like, if you donate as little as $2, you can access all of my archived live streams. Those are the things I've not been putting up on my channel after I've been live streaming through YouTube Gaming, mainly because not many people have asked for them, but I kind of wanted to keep them back as a donator reward. I kind of wanted to say, if you just pay like a couple of dollars a month, they are monthly donations, by the way. So if you're thinking about setting one up, bear that in mind. They are like a monthly donation thing. But I can give out links to my live streams from there, and that would be kind of a good way of giving back to people who can only donate like a little bit, but they get some kind of reward. And I figure not many people so far have said, like, where is that live stream that you posted the other day? So it seemed like a kind of cool idea. So I wanted to do that. And then there's loads of other stuff on there, ranging from me designing you a banner in Minecraft, because I design pretty good banners. Like, not gonna lie, I'm pretty pleased. You can't see them from over here, but I think I design really good looking banners. So if having a banner in your world that I designed is something that floats your boat, consider it. There's everything there from me designing you a banner to me building you a house. That's one of like the kind of upper tier donation things. And once we reach certain milestone goals, I can start doing things like opening up a fan server so people who've donated can come on and play with me. There are a couple of other things on there, like being able to upgrade my computer, adding face cam to my videos and live streams, that kind of thing. There's a couple of really interesting goals on there. And if you can't donate, don't worry. That's the important thing, because I know a lot of my fans are younger, and you guys don't necessarily have your own like sources of income and a lot of money right now. Won't be able to buy stuff online, or your parents won't let you, or whatever. That's fine. Keep watching my videos. I really, really appreciate your support. The Patreon thing is just there as an option for people to help out a content creator a little bit and help my channel grow. And I'm going to give shout-outs and thank yous to anybody who donates at the end of some of my videos. They're probably not going to be at the end of tutorial videos, because those are kind of short, and I want to keep things short and sweet and specifically about the tutorial, but I'm going to do them at the end of my Let's Plays. I'm probably going to do them at the end of some other series as well, once I get those off the ground. So I feel like that's probably a good thing to do. So, today's episode was brought to you by the kind donation of Nobodies, who is, despite his name, it's with a K, not with an N, so he does have buddies. I am definitely his buddy, because he was my first Patreon donator. So I want to thank him for his donation. It was really, really awesome of him to get the ball rolling. But for now, I'm going to leave this episode where it is. So thank you very much for watching. My name has been Pixlriffs. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. And if you want to go that extra mile, head over to patreon.com/Pixlriffs and consider donating to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now. Place a sticky piston, like so, and then add a building block to the front of that. Now the mechanism is nearly complete. You need to put a button down here, and a building block and a button right there, and then you can add the rail and the minecart with a chest.